and good afternoon, beautiful ladies. Happy noon, not morning, not afternoon, happy noon. Hello. This is day 2 of Timelines. I am so excited. So yesterday was awesome. I got really good feedback from a couple of people. It excites me. It makes me so happy that what I share is helping others. Like I said yesterday, I felt like so inspired to share so many things, and I just don't always know how to put it into words. So like if you've ever had a tarot reading with me, you know this because a lot of times like on Tarot Tuesday, or even during a tarot reading, so many things come through so fast that it's like, okay, whew, pause. Let me find the words for this. I have to find the words. So yeah, that is the beauty of the English language, right? There's a word for everything. We just have to find it. So I'm going to give it like a couple seconds, see who hops on. If you're catching the replay, let me know. I'd love to know what you have to say about yesterday and today. If you haven't watched this live yet, these lives will be taken down out of this group on Friday. That is Friday that's the 11th. Yeah, so Friday the 11th, they'll be taken out of this group, and the group will close. So be sure to catch the replays. Be sure to, take in all the good stuff. So, there goes an orb. No shit. Okay. So last week it was one day last week. So I was pulling tarot cards at random, and there were orbs hanging out around my head in my office. And this is just like my basement office space, but that's a story for another time. Anywho, let's get into timelines here. So yesterday we talked about what a timeline is. We very briefly touched on what a timeline is, what that means for us, right? And we talked a little bit about what a paradigm is. And I kind of use those two interchangeably, but they actually do have different meanings. So that's one thing that I wanted to start out with, was going through those. So timeline, our timeline, the way I look at it is the way that we're living right now. Everything that we currently experience, see, hear, feel, know, everything that we have in our life is a result of all the manifestations bringing us up to right this minute. This is our timeline that we've been walking from point A to point B since we were born to now, right? And we can switch timelines. If you think of how a train veers off to a different track, to go a different way, maybe to go west. So the train needs to go west. It needs to veer off to get on the train track, aka timeline, to go a different way to get to where it needs to go, or to get to where it wants to go, right? So if you can think of your timeline that you're on as a giant train track of your life, right? And think about, veer a little bit west, a little bit east, whichever way that it is you are trying to go in life, that you desire to go, right? That's essentially kind of an English definition of timeline, right? Paradigm. Now, a paradigm is a little bit different. A paradigm is like a timeline, but on a much larger scale, involving what I refer to as the collective. So the collective being the whole entire world, all of us, all the people, not just people in one country, one continent, the entire world, collective, right? I strongly believe, and I've actually seen this many times in meditations and visions, that we are all interconnected. It's like a giant spider web where we are all connected to one another. And what is possible for one human being is possible for all human beings, should they choose to tap into that potentiality, right? So a paradigm is essentially the timeline of all the humans in the world. And just like timelines can shift, paradigms too. So in the past, especially what's coming to light these past couple of years in history, and I like to separate the his from the story, because so much of it is very male dominated, in which case masculine dominated, which can also mean for us that it's very pushing energy, forcing, doing, go, right? And it never really worked for all of us. It never really worked. And that's why this current paradigm that we've been living in these past couple hundred years That's why it's dissipating and falling away piece by piece by piece by piece. The paradigm that we are currently coming into ever since 2012, when there was a giant shift, there was some kind of giant shift, and I can't remember exactly which planetary shift it occurred with, but there was a giant shift creating this collective energy towards the feminine way of doing, towards the love, towards being the love, being the light, not forcing, not having wars, fighting people, but love, compassion, understanding, empathy for one another, including ourselves. So that's essentially the difference between the timeline and the paradigm. So your timeline is the train tracks, the paradigm is the train tracks on a large scale, right? So I really wanted to help like kind of differentiate the two to make sense. And I really love that we're shifting into this collective paradigm of love and compassion, right? Because that's what we naturally are. That's what our souls naturally are. We as human beings were not born with the ability to hate one another, to be racist, to be sexist, fascist, whatever it is, you know, to be negative all the time. We as human beings and our soul are actually love and light. We are an expression of the divine, of God himself in human form. And God is the energy of light, not a human painted in a picture in a church. God is the energy of light, of love, of understanding. And our souls are here essentially not only to spread that light, but to grow and evolve in who we are as a soul, as a person. So many levels. This is probably a conversation for another day, but I think you get the point. I really wanted to add that in there, right? I see another orb. That's pretty cool. Okay, so now what about creating our own timeline, right? So the timeline that we're on, we may not have realized that we created our entire life up until now, up until right here at this point, right? We may not realize it. We may not be consciously aware of it until it comes into our awareness. We don't know. We don't know what we don't know, essentially. So creating our own timeline. What we're doing in creating our own timeline, it's a really big deal that we stop ourselves and pause, because the best way to create our timeline, and this is what's worked for me and what I've studied a lot, I don't want to tell you what to do, but one of the best ways that I have found is creating from nothing to something, because that is essentially what the definition of manifestation is. The art of creating nothing into something. Now, again, when I talk about manifestation, I like to mention the quantum field. And the quantum field, if you're not familiar, the quantum field is the field where every single possibility exists. Every single possibility. Wow, these orbs are really busy right now. I don't know who else is seeing them, but, or if you can see them on your end, but they are here. I don't sense anything though. I don't sense anything, just, no, nothing. I don't sense anybody or anything right now. Okay, fair enough. The quantum field is where every single possibility exists. Every single thing, every single idea that has come to fruition, every single thing that we can see in our physical environment started in the quantum, because it didn't exist and a human manifested it into existence. So think of the car, electricity, clothing, what else? Artificial foods, cell phones, television, lamps, signs like this one, right? It all started in the field of possibility and potentiality, where someone manifested this idea into reality and shared it with others, right? So we're creating our own timeline. I don't want you to think of creating your timeline from getting away from something, saying like, I hate this job, I hate this, I hate that, I hate this, I hate that about this job. I need to get away from this and get to a new job. I want you to think of creating your timeline that you desire and manifesting your desires on your timeline. I want you to think of that as creating from pure potentiality, meaning nothing, nothing. There is nothing that you want to avoid. There is nothing that you have to stay away from. There is nothing that you couldn't have, couldn't be, couldn't do. Your timeline is coming from pure potentiality. And like I said yesterday, I was talking a little bit about our minds. Our subconscious minds are essentially our bridge. to the unknown, to the universe, to the quantum field where all things are possible for us to create. And if we can see it, if we can think it, if we can even believe that it's possible, it is. There's another orb. Oh boy. I don't know. Somebody's enjoying this. So, in creating our timeline, we are creating from pure potentiality, from nothing, right? And I hope this makes sense. If not, please comment in the group or comment somewhere so I know and I can better elaborate or maybe even share a different view of this, right? So I will give you an example of how I created something out of the quantum. This was so exciting. So last year, actually for a couple of years now, I've really been wanting a French bulldog, right? And I don't know if like you know, but I have a Frenchie now. But I really, really, really wanted a French bulldog. And I thought, but I already have a dog. You know, I had all these like monkey mind going on, like so many things in my mind telling me like all these excuses, why you can't have this, why you can't have another dog, why this won't work, why that won't work, what if, whatever. So I had to just pause, take it down a level, and think in quantum. So one day, no joke, one day I was out walking my dog Evelyn, who's a giant pit bull. I was out walking her around the neighborhood, and it suddenly popped into my conscious and awareness. I envisioned myself with another leash in the opposite hand I was walking Evelyn with, walking a little black and white Frenchie. Crazy. And do you know what happened? No joke, like maybe a few weeks later, if that even. It was so fast, it scared me. A French bulldog I found online on one of the websites for puppy adoptions in my area. On one of the websites, pretty close to the Frenchie I seen in my vision, and I was able to adopt her, I want to say within those couple of days, right? But that is essentially creating from the quantum. Like there was nothing to avoid. There was nothing to tell me I couldn't be, do, or have the dog because I had to manage my mind, and I did. And I said, okay, in the quantum, every single thing is possible. All this going on in here, telling you that you can't be, do, and have it, doesn't exist in the quantum. That's the power of the quantum field in manifesting, where all is possible, all of it. So, got this vision, got this download, felt into it. It felt really, really good. It was like, wow, it feels so good. I'm so excited to get my Frenchie. Holy shit. And then, don't you know it, one day, so I work at home sometimes, and I work on a laptop at home. One day I just happened to get it popped in my head. Hey, look up this website. So I did. I'll be damned. Found the dog, adopted her, picked her up that week. So that's essentially my one of my examples. If you can think of an example where, say, like you put it out there that you really wanted something or really wanted something to happen for you, or even an experience, right? Or even a person coming into your life. If you can think of that, that was essentially you manifesting and creating from the quantum. You created from nothing into something. And I feel like that's a big reason that people are so obsessed with these like rags to riches stories. Like people that, you know, these outlandish, amazing stories. And I'm sure some of them are completely true. Some may be blown up. I don't know, whatever. It's whatever. But these rags to riches stories where people literally created millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars out of nothing. They like literally came from poverty and now they're fucking millionaires. So that's kind of another one, creating something out of nothing. So I love those stories though. I'm definitely one of those suckers. So this brings me to the art of embodiment. So when we're creating our new timeline and working on a whole new paradigm, and collective paradigms do affect us, guys, when we are creating our own timeline, we want to embody what it is that we desire. We are making that shift. Like our train is going straight and we're making the tiniest 5% shift, 5-degree shift over onto the new timeline that we desire. Now, if you think of the train made that shift and it's on that new timeline, and that train is not going anywhere. It's not going to back up, go back to the timeline it was on. It's not going to hop over back to the timeline it was on. It's on a new one. So that's what I want you to embody and what I want you to think about when you are switching your timelines. You're switching your timeline over to where you desire to go in life. Now, you don't need to know the end result. You don't need to have all the details. Be okay with that. Learn to be okay with that, because that frees you from the stress and overwhelm of trying to plan and control every single aspect, so to speak. It makes manifestation a lot more fun for you when you can be excited that something is happening. You are going somewhere, you don't know where, but this is fun as all get out, right? You're on the way to what you desire, to the life and dreams that you desire, right? Manifestation is supposed to be fun. I used to think that it was so rigid that I had to do like all these rituals, that I had to write it out 55 times, that I had to have all the right crystals to manifest, you know? And it turns out that it's all deep within inside of us, that it's all possible within inside. We don't need anything outside of us. We don't need anybody to tell us what to do, because it's not what we're doing, it's who we're being inside, which we did discuss a little bit yesterday. But it's true, guys. I've definitely found that. So getting back to the art of embodiment, we are embodying this new train track that we have just shifted onto, right? We are walking, we are on that path. We are cruising right along, and there is no stopping us now. None. So with you on that new path, how is this changing you? What do you now believe to be true about yourself, about your desires? You know that this train isn't stopping. Nothing can stop you on the way to your desires. You may come across a couple little bumps. Say like the train tracks get bumpy here and there. You may come across a little bit of that, but it's not going to stop that train, and it's not going to stop you. There may be some hurdles. There may be some challenges along the way. You may have to wait for another train to cross opposite paths with you, but it's not stopping you. And that's the point. It's not stopping you. You know that you are going towards your desires with absolute, complete certainty. Sometimes you may find that you have to work on your mind, work on what your head is telling you, your ego. Your mind will tell you all kinds of things. Just like my mind telling me all these reasons I can't, shouldn't, won't, don't get a Frenchie, all this other shit, right? You have to work on your mind sometimes, but that's okay. Either way, knowing that you're going towards your desires with complete 100% accuracy will help get you on that path. And it's not a matter of like, how soon can I manifest this? How soon can I get to this? How soon can I get this, buy this, whatever? How soon can I get there? It's not really a matter of time. It's a matter of your embodiment of your desires. You have to embody that on the deepest level possible. And one way that really helped get me there was stop telling myself, I believe I can do this, that, and the other. This is possible because it's possible for others. Like I would use those, but when I got to a different level, it started to be a knowing, an inner knowing, falling back on my own inner power and telling myself, I know that I can get here to what I desire. I know that I can have what I desire. I have worked on my beliefs. I've worked on my words, my thoughts, my actions. I've worked on my embodiment. I know this. Because what I found is that the power of knowing is significantly stronger than the power of believing. Like, sure, you believe that something has happened in the past, but did you witness it? Maybe, maybe not. Do you know with absolute certainty that it's happened in the past? Maybe, maybe not. But can we translate that power into knowing that our desires are right there in front of us, right immediately within reach, and it's a matter of working on our minds and embodiment and knowing and trusting and believing in ourselves. We're on that train track to our desires, and there's no stopping you, right? That's the energy that goes from, I want this, I want this, I want this, I'm on the wrong timeline, to, oh, I'm making a shift, and now I know that my desires are coming to me no matter what. It's a matter of how I feel, how I choose to embody this. How good does it feel to already know that your desires are right in front of you, that you are literally that train on the way to what you desire. Boom, there it is. That Louis Vuitton bag, I'll be damned. There it is, right? For example. So now that we've discussed a little bit about embodiment over timelines, we got to talk about the 3 P's of manifestation. So this is a big thing in working on your mind, because your mind will get in the way. Your mind can tend to get in the way of so many things in your life, right? That's why we as humans second guess ourselves. And that's actually one of the biggest problems facing us, because our intuition wants to give us the right answer first. But our brain, our mind, our ego is, oh my God, I'm such a dork, is like, wait, no, we can't do that. Here's why. Here's 100 reasons why we can't do that. Uh-oh. Now I have to second guess myself. I can't do that. I can't do this. I shouldn't do this. I shouldn't do that. Damn. What a waste. What a waste of using our intuition by allowing our minds to take over. So the 3 P's of embodiment, 3 P's of manifestation. First, we're going to start with probability. Probability is interesting because probability goes right along with our logic. And our logic is actually a trait of our human. Our human is wants the facts, wants to know things ahead of time, wants to know exactly how and when this will be done, and with certainty, right? That is our logic. That is the field of probability. We do manifest in the field of probability, but it's almost like very, very limited. The field of probability literally limits us to like that, not much at all, right? But we know with certainty that something will happen because we've seen it done before. We've experienced it many times. We've read the book many times. We already know how the book goes. We already know how the story ends, so on and so forth, right? We can easily believe in the field of probability. That's easy. Let's take it up a notch and go to the field of possibility. Let's take it up a notch and go to the field of possibility. Possibility. So the field of possibility is we already know and believe that something can happen because we've seen it done 100 times. But what else is possible on top of that? So you've already made, 10K last year. Is it possible to make 15? Could be. Do you believe it's possible? What is your mind? What is your human telling you? How does it feel inside of you to go from making 10K a year to go to making 15K a year? How does that feel? Do you think it's possible? Do you feel that it's possible? Does your intuition tell you, hell yeah, it's possible? Way to go. You've never done it before, but can you believe that it's possible? That's the art of working on your mind, essentially. Do you believe that it's possible? You might not know it yet because maybe you haven't been there yet, but can you believe in something a little bit more than where you've been already? Have you seen other people do it? Probably. Can you look for evidence? Can you look for clues that this is possible for you? Based on the fact that what's possible for one human is possible for all humans, right? So the field of possibility, that's just taking your standard up a notch. Now, potentiality. Here we come back to the quantum, guys. So this part I love. Coming back to the quantum is the field of potentiality. So the quantum, you could even use this interchangeably. I like to call it the 3 P's of manifestation, though, and we're just taking it up a notch. The field of potentiality, where literally all things are possible. Every single circumstance, every single ending, every single possibility is where it lives in the quantum field, lives in the field of potentiality. We can manifest in probability mode because we already know that it's possible. We already get a certain amount of money every other week in our paychecks. We already know it's possible to make that. We already know that it's probable to make that 10K a year. Cool. Possibility. We can believe in something higher than ourselves. We can believe that we can stretch ourselves just a little bit. But the field of potentiality is where we're working even more on our mind in relation to our desires to stretch ourselves to the realm of unlimited possibilities, where I think it, and now it's here. Holy shit, it's here, right? So how would it feel to stretch yourself a little bit and then work up to, it's all possible. It's all possible, 100%. That is the power of the field of potentiality. Now it's probable, possible, potential. But we don't want to stretch ourselves too thin too fast. We don't want to pull a muscle so much that our arm almost detaches from our body. None of that. We want to slowly glide up there to potentiality. This doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to take time or that there's a certain time frame to put yourself on here. No, it simply means that you're embodying that next level of belief and inner knowing and belief in your ability to manifest your desires based on every single potentiality and possibility available to you, which is everything. Because what's available to one human to manifest is available to every human to manifest. That's the beauty of this. This is why I love manifestation, and talking about it just lights me up. So, in that field of potentiality, keep in mind what I said about your timelines. On our timelines, we're creating from the area that every single thing is possible. If you can almost think of a tree, we'll say like an apple tree, right? There's tons and tons of branches. The tree comes up from the ground, branches off, and at least a good 30 to 50 branches, right? And in those 30 to 50 branches are all these smaller branches. And even more smaller branches come off of those. And even more come off of those. That's one of the ways I like to look at the field of potentiality, in that for every branch is a timeline with all these sub branches full of potentiality, full of potential outcomes, full of possibility based on what you desire. Based on what you desire, guys. Isn't that just beautiful, knowing that every single thing is immediately available to you? And sometimes it's a matter of working on your mind, getting that mind out of the way, getting all the naysaying ego out of the way to get to where you desire, which is the area where every single thing is possible for you. It's a beautiful thing when you come to a point in life where you believe in yourself to your deepest core level that every single thing is possible. It's not a matter of time. It's not a matter of years. It's a matter of belief in yourself. It's a matter of knowing. It's a matter of embodiment. That you are 100% worthy of every single thing you desire just because you were born. You were born worthy, and nothing has changed. Nothing. And it will never change. You are 100% worthy. Coming to a place where you believe and know that on your deepest level is the game changer. This is what I'm looking to instill in others, because it's possible. I used to hate all kinds of things about myself. I don't even know where to begin on that one. But coming to a place where I loved and respected myself and seen myself as capable, functioned into my highest level, created from nothing. It amazes me even to this day. Literally, it's amazing. I sit there in the morning with my coffee in bed with my cat and my warm blanket and just think to myself, this is literally fucking amazing that I'm here in life. I cannot believe this stuff. And that's another amazing thing about the field of potentiality, in that when you get to a place that you desired via your belief in the field of potentiality, you may wonder, how the hell did this happen? How in the world did this happen for me? Oh my goodness, I'm just a girl from this random suburb south of Detroit, and how did this ever happen to me? Wow. I can't believe it happened. I can't believe I got here. I can't believe I received this. That's receiving. That's from the power, from the field of potentiality. And it is a beautiful feeling. Beautiful. Which is why I felt so inspired to come in and create timelines and share this with you. Now, before we finish up, I have one more thing I wanted to talk about in the field of manifestation. And it's not necessarily part of the 3 Ps, but it kind of blends into them, right? And it's duality. Duality is a huge thing, guys, in manifestation. Duality is huge. We have these big, 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 huge hopes and dreams. And we really, truly hope and dream and desire to manifest them into our reality, right? We're learning how to manifest, how to switch our timeline to manifest what we desire. We're learning how to embody it, how to believe in ourselves and believe that we're worthy. We're working on our mind here, right? But duality comes into play because we also have to let go of how our manifestations will get here. We have to let go of the timing. That is the power of duality, because it will happen in divine timing. It's not a date that we set in stone, because time doesn't exist outside of the 3D reality that we live in on planet Earth. Time doesn't exist. It's just a thing. The universe responds. God responds to your energetic output. Things come to you and manifest into your reality based on your energy, not based on the time frame that you set for it. So with duality, we have these big, huge hopes and dreams. Also have to ask yourself, can I be okay with that not happening? Can I be okay with that not happening? And that helps not so much to protect us, but that helps to alleviate the pressure and the stress of forcing. It has to happen or I'll die, right? It helps to get rid of that idea, that mindset is what happens here. So this big, huge hope and dream, this big, huge manifestation I'm coming up on, what if it doesn't happen? Can you tell yourself that you will be okay? More often than not, all your mind, all your your ego needs to hear, your heart needs to hear, is that you will be okay no matter what. You will be okay no matter what. I will be okay. I am okay now, and I will be okay whether this happens or not. That's the power of duality. Another point I'd like to mention about duality is this. It goes the opposite too. Say you've been to the bottom of the barrel, the slumps, the dump, whatever the hell you want to call it. Say you've been to where you didn't think it could get any worse, but you didn't know it could get any better, right? You've been able to hold this energy of a level 1 failure of, oh, this is horrible. You've been able to hold this energy. So can you believe in yourself and in your power with the ability to hold the opposite energy of the most amazing things happening to you in your life, the most amazing things coming to you? I'm sure you can, because if you can hold this down here, you can hold this too. Duality, guys. Duality exists only in this universe that we live in, only in this 3D reality. Duality does not exist anywhere else in the universe. And that's one of the biggest reasons that our souls incarnate here on Earth, is to learn, to grow and evolve, which would not be done without duality. A lot of us may be here right now because we need to learn duality. We need to hold and learn and evolve from the lessons that occur in both the good and the bad. And I don't like to label them as good and bad anymore. From the highs and the lows. From the to the It's evolution and growth over a lifetime. And it's beautiful. So you guys, I see plenty of orbs again. This is interesting. I'm loving it, and I wonder who it is. Could be many people. So I'm going to take a few minutes to talk about Transform, which is my program starting in a week. Transform is just wow. The baby of the last couple of years worth of study, growth, and evolution. Well, probably 5+ years, really. But if you are all done with timelines, if you are done for the day, you can go. I'm going to stay on for a couple of minutes and talk a little bit about Transform. So you guys, Transform is a 6-module program I created, and it is an inner journey like no other. We are diving even deeper into our identity, into our values, into our beliefs. We are healing on the most deep level possible, our mind, body, and soul, to manifest the life that we desire, to manifest everything that we desire. And I've truly, truly found that it all starts within. There is no escaping that. It all starts within. We don't manifest based on what someone else does, what we find in a book. We don't manifest based on what we're doing necessarily. It's who we're being. It is all within. Transform is an inner journey like no other. That's the only way I know how to say it, describe it, whatever you want to call it. It's beautiful. And it is a culmination of the past 5+ years worth of my own inner journey, what has worked, what I have found to be true, and what I have done and grown in a spiritual way so that I can now translate it into words to share with you all. It was no easy feat, but I've done it. And now I'm ready to share it, which is why we're here talking about it right now. So I also think of it as like a coming home party too, right? We are coming back into our inner world. It all starts within. Literally every single thing that we see outside of us is a mirror of what is going on inside of us, right? And we're also diving deeper into the feminine and masculine energetics, which we touched on a little bit here, but there's even more to know. There's always more to know, right? There's always like another level, a deeper level to this. There's feminine energetics, the art of receiving, and masculine energetics, the art of doing. And manifestation is like a yin-yang party of both of those, which we're going to go deeper into as well. There is an included workbook. There will be a couple of guided meditations. We are going to be working on our inner child and healing the wounds from our past so that we can release all those things and manifest. There is a group Reiki session and a bonus money module. Holy shit. So I was not going to initially talk about money in relation to manifestation and in Transform. However, I have decided to add that bonus money module because I feel that it has been so transformative, not only to my relationship with money, but to my relationship with myself, with others, with paying my bills, with how I deal with or how I navigate so many things in my life. Because I have found that there's a massive domino effect that when you work on healing your mindset in one area, for me, it was money. It catapults all these other life areas into healing and changing in such a big way, So that is why I've decided to include the money module. And last but not least, there is a human design module with Amy May. She is a certified human design expert who will be coming in to discuss that with us. And human design, in short, I'm not an expert here, but in short, human design is essentially the way that you and your DNA were created to be. So it really highlights your strengths, your weaknesses, and what you can do about both, and how you can navigate things in life to the best of your ability based on the way your human was designed. It's incredibly interesting. If you have time to look it up on Google, I really recommend doing so. So yeah, Transform will be 6 modules plus the bonus human design module with Amy May. It is $2,222. There will be a pay in full bonus with a 60-minute one-on-one breakthrough session with myself. And there will also be a payment plan. So you guys, if you have any questions, post them in the group, DM me, whatever you want to do. And yeah, don't forget, our group closes on Friday, and I will likely repurpose these videos for something else. So I love you all. I hope that you all had like the biggest breakthroughs from timelines. I am so excited that I got to share this with you. I think that it's fucking amazing that so much came through for me to share. I love it. And I love serving you guys in the biggest way possible. And I truly feel like one of my next level was serving at my highest level by sharing what was coming through me in a way that felt good. And I love doing live video, of course. So that's part of it. So I love you all. Have a wonderful Tuesday. Have a wonderful week. And if you have questions about Transform, let me know.